I have just realised that we are officially in October and I don't have one autumn Halloween themed thing in this room. Yes, we're ready. Hi loves, welcome to my channel. My name is Primrose and what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be going through some of my main tips for baby witches and more specifically where to get started with Wicca or witchcraft as a spiritual belief. This has to be like one of the most asked questions within the witch community, honestly. Everywhere you turn there is baby witches asking this question and I wanted to give you guys some proper guidance on where to begin and if this path is right for you. So before I even have time to begin rambling, I'm just going to jump straight in. So when you are just starting out, the first thing that I want you guys to answer or ask yourself is, why do you want to join this spiritual path? If you're joining because you see it as an aesthetic or because of witch talk or anything like that, then this is probably not the right path for you or the right video, because taking the path through Wicca or witchcraft is way more than just an aesthetic. It's more than just a way of life, it's how you want to conduct yourself as a person. So please just have respect for the faith and the belief. The very first thing that I would go about doing is getting a journal. This is going to help you document the entire process of transitioning into whatever path that you are drawn to, or if you don't know what path, it's going to help you find out what path is best suited for yourself. And things you want to include in that journal is things that you try, how it makes you feel, what you think on certain topics, anything like that, any trial and error process. Just pop it down all in your journal so it's great to reflect back on, and it also helps you to process everything that you are taking in, all the information that you're taking in, because it's going to take quite a bit of research and quite a bit of studying from yourself. However, it's going to be way easier to process if you're making notes in a journal. So before you get started with anything else, you also want to ask yourself, what are your beliefs in terms of a god or a goddess? Do you believe in a god and goddess? Do you believe that there could be multiple? Do you believe that they're representations of certain things? What is your sort of innate belief? Remove any other belief system that you've ever known, and what do you think? What sort of belief system are you drawn to when it comes to the god and the goddess? Same for things like spirits. What do you believe in terms of ghosts or apparitions or the spiritual realm, and things like the afterlife? What are your beliefs on that? Because your core beliefs probably won't change too much, and if you are forcing yourself to change your entire core beliefs for a specific religion, then it's probably not going to work out in the long run, or you're not going to end up being very happy, because your true faith won't be in it, your true belief won't be in it. So if you think that you want to follow the Wicca path but you don't believe in the god or the goddess, and you don't think there's any deity, or you don't want to worship any deities, then this is probably not the right religion for you. And you'd probably be more suited to witchcraft, or maybe you just want to pick a couple of select deities that you want to worship as a representation for certain things. So just see first of all, like, where you sort of stand in your head on certain topics. You also want to make a list of anything spiritual that interests you. So are you interested in kitchen witchery? Are you interested in divination? Are you interested in healing or spells or nature? What sort of spiritual things that allow you to connect with the belief? What are you interested in? Because that's going to take up a large amount of your practice. A lot of witches or Wiccans are solely attracted to the kitchen, for example, and want to be in the kitchen all the time, and possibly won't want to do sea spells like a sea witch. So there is many different types of witches and paths within Wicca that are open for you, but you just have to work out what your interests are, and that will help you fit into a path a lot easier. And I just want to point out that you don't have to put yourself in a box, you don't have to label what you are or who you want to be. It's just going to make it easier if you know what sort of paths you're drawn to, because it's going to make it easier for you to research about what you're interested in. So another good thing to do as a baby witch would be to research what different types of witches on different paths of Wicca there are, and what I would suggest doing is picking 3 that sound the best fit for yourself. So if you don't already know what sort of path you want to follow, then just pick 3 that you think, that could be a good fit for what I am and my interests that I've noted down so far, and then it's going to allow you to do further research. So you can research things like Do they have a god or a goddess? Does that line up with what I believe? Yes, okay, maybe I'm right for this path, and maybe it's no, they don't have a god or goddess, but I want to believe in something. So maybe I will research some deities to add to my practice, or maybe there's a path like this within Wicca. So there is many different options, and I know people always say the best thing to do is research. That is true, but it's sometimes really hard to find that starting point. So by having these notes already about yourself, you can physically look at it and think, yeah, I fit in within this. And a really good thing to also do would be to make a quick little description about the 3 paths that you have chosen. That's going to make it easy because you can get really overwhelmed with information that's thrown at you, and there is many different types and it's sometimes really hard to process. So if you just write a brief description about the 3 that you've picked, then that makes it really easy for you to look at it as a condensed amount of information and think, yeah, okay, this means this thing and this specific path means this. And what will probably be a good idea is if at the end of the research you're still unsure, you haven't found one that feels like you, like your soul belief, then probably just try them out for a week. See how it feels to be a practicing whatever witch, Wiccan you choose to be, and just try it out. You know, it's going to take 3 weeks if we pick 3 options, and you might get halfway through 1 week and think, oh god, I don't feel like this practice is right for me, there's this I don't enjoy, there's this I don't enjoy. And having your journal is going to make it really easy because you can write down the date and write down your thoughts and feelings as you go along that process. So you work out what you do and don't like about each different path, and by doing that you're going to be able to cross off the things that you don't like or the things that you feel like don't fit you. But then you might come across one that's like, oh, I love this, you know, I could just eat it up, I'm so excited to just do the next thing or try this or try that, and it's going to be really fun for you guys to explore. I am so envious of you guys just starting out, so definitely just embrace the journey. Which comes on to my next tip is don't rush into spell work. I know it's so tempting to want to just jump straight in and try a spell, and I'd probably avoid doing anything that requires you casting a circle. So by all means make wishes on bay leaves, anything like that, but probably don't jump into spell work that requires a circle. The reason being is that you want to come to that mentality and have that higher understanding within your brain so you can focus that energy, and without that it's sort of just going to be loose and it might not work out for you. So the best thing to do would be to find your path, study on that path for a little bit. I studied my path for a year and a day just to make sure that this is definitely what I wanted, and then I moved into more intensive craft. And you don't have to wait that long, like I understand it's a long time, but it does go along with my Wiccan beliefs that you would wait a year and a day. And as long as you feel like you've reached sufficient higher understanding and awareness, or until you reach that point, I wouldn't jump straight into it, because you just want to be prepared and you just want your spells to have the greatest chance of success, and this will allow that. And I know it's just so tempting to jump in, but do not feel rushed or pressured. You don't have to jump straight in. That doesn't necessarily make you a witch. What makes you a witch is your core belief. You want to connect with what you're doing, your core and your spirit and intention before you jump into anything like that. So another tip would be to practice things like meditation, yoga, just because that's going to allow you to focus your mind and intent on what you are doing. And a really great resource for this is Scott Cunningham's book WICCA, because it goes into quite a bit of detail on how you focus the mind. And I'm really fortunate in the way that I've always been able to shut off from what's going on around me and just pull back and be within my own head. And I think that's because I'm like a real daydreamer and I'm just always in my own brain. So being able to focus that energy into my head and completely shut off on what's going on was quite an easy practice for me, and it might be easy for you too, but it will allow you to be able to feel that energy. So he does a really good practice where you focus the energy and intent to your fingertips, and I can do it now, and you sort of feel the vibrations going through your fingers. And he does mention that it takes a lot of practice and a lot of time to be able to focus that energy into one part of your body, and it takes a while before you will feel that. So you want to make sure that you are harnessing the correct amount of energy into the right places before you jump into spell work. So things like, as mentioned, yoga, meditation are really great for that, because it allows you to focus your mind, and they're very focused on breathing exercises and reaching this level of deeper connection and peacefulness, which I feel is so valuable within a spiritual belief system. Another really good tip for beginner witches is to explore lots of different divination types. So when I first started out on the Wicca path, I first of all began with runes before I even began on Wicca, So I was already doing runes and I got to a really good level with runes, and I just focused on one type of divination. And then when I moved over to tarot, it was actually really easy to transition because I already had an understanding of runes, and it was just very easy for me to be able to pick up the cards and connect with them because I'd already been used to doing it with runes. So by starting out with divination, and again maybe picking 2 or 3 that you want to focus your time and energy into learning, or maybe just one, maybe you want to just put all your energy into one, it's going to make it really easy to transition through different types. And maybe again you don't get on with a certain type of divination, that's fine. We're not meant to like or enjoy doing every aspect of divination or just doing everything. We don't have to. If you specifically get drawn to palmistry, I do not have the memory, I don't have the time to learn palmistry, and I would love to, but I also prefer to have physical cards. I personally don't get on with it very well. I think it's interesting, but would I possibly learn it or do it in the future? I don't know, but maybe you guys are really good at palmistry and maybe you just pick it up straight away. I never have. So explore all the different types, find what your niche is, find what you're good at, and find out if you're naturally good at anything. You know, I worked really hard at becoming good at runes because I was not naturally good at runes. However, I feel like I'm quite good at tarot. I wouldn't say probably naturally good, but I picked it up quite quickly, and whether that's because I've used the runes before, I'm not sure. But find out what you enjoy using. A part of the practice and a part of your spiritual belief may be connecting with divination, and lots of witches and Wiccans use divination as a form of connecting to their spiritual selves. So another really good tip for baby witches would be to spend time in nature and nurture it. So nature is a massive part of witchcraft, Wicca and spirituality. Wicca is a nature-based religion, so a massive part of everything that Wicca is, and even in witchcraft it's so valuable to be appreciative of nature. So spending time outdoors, growing plants, taking care of nature, clearing up litter, just considering the environment is a massive part of what this kind of spiritual belief consists of. And I feel like that's across the board, whether you're a Wiccan or witch or anyone that is deeply spiritual will deeply connect to the outdoors because it is the closest we can get to being with Mother Earth. And whether you take barefoot walks or take time to ground yourself outside or just take a couple of big deep breaths outdoors, I feel like that's going to really help you connect with spirituality on a deeper level. And for any baby witches out there that are looking to connect with the god and the goddess, I did do a video on this and you can find it just up here, so I will link that up there for you guys, and that explains some of the ways that you can connect to a deity. So the very last question that I want you guys to ask yourself is this path a good fit for me at this point in my life right now? Are you emotionally ready for this? Do you have time to nurture it? Do you have time to learn these things and study? Be realistic. If you realistically don't have time for this, then that's fine. You can make all these notes and come back to it later on. You have to be realistic, and you know, as you're just starting out, you want to give the adequate amount of time to yourself to be able to learn and just enjoy it. It's a spiritual belief system that is supposed to be enjoyed. It's not something that's supposed to stress you out. So I really hope that these tips have been useful to you. I really hope I'm able to help some baby witches out there, because I know it can be quite daunting when you're just starting out, and especially because a lot of us have moved from a religion that we've been brought up with. It's really hard to know where to begin in terms of finding a new religion. So I did just want to mention to you guys that I am hosting a giveaway on my Instagram. It's so exciting. It's my very first giveaway. So to enter the giveaway, all you have to do is be subscribed to me here on YouTube, subscribe to me over on Instagram, share the post to your story on Instagram, and comment one friend in my Instagram comments who you think will enjoy this giveaway. So let's have a look at what you guys could win. So we have 2 books as part of the giveaway. The first book is Fairies by Ralph Harvey, and this is a lovely little book that talks about the magical realm of fairies, fairy lore, entering the fairy realm. It's just a very sweet little book that if you are spiritually minded, I think you guys are really going to enjoy. The second book that I have for you guys is The Little Book of Crystals, and this is by Judy Hall, and I did actually feature this book in my top beginner Wiccan books. The video I will link up here for you, and it is just such a handy little pocket guide that explains how to cleanse crystals, connect with crystals, and it gives you quite a bit of information on beginner crystals as well. So a really handy, lovely little book. You could also win this gorgeous earrings and necklace set. It really reminds me of a woodland forest. So it's a heart-shaped necklace and earrings that look like it's got vines or leaves growing over it. It was just so beautiful. I had to include this for you guys. Another thing that you could win is this set of witchy runes. So they come in this lovely purple velvet bag, and it's this gorgeous collection of purple witchy runes. We have an incense burner. I wasn't sure if I could include incense within the actual giveaway if it's being shipped internationally, so it might come with some incense, it might not. I apologise if I can't send any to you guys, but the holder is very cute with some stars along the edges. So then we also have some crystal shards, 2 chunks of selenite, a mini jar full of mixed different crystal chips, and an amethyst crystal cluster. And very lastly, we have 2 ritual candles, and I did make these myself. So the first one is in a glittered seashell. It's for self-love. We've got a beautiful pink candle with wax roses and pink glitter on. And we have the second pillar candle that's got purple wax down. We've got some gorgeous flowers stuck to the side and purple glitter all down the candle. So some really beautiful items that you could win. Please do enter. I would love to give back to you guys. You have all been so incredible in supporting my channel and supporting me here on YouTube and Instagram. Honestly, I can't thank you guys enough for all the love and support and likes and views you are giving me. It warms my frozen pumpkin heart. So that is everything for today. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!